How many?
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience, mastermind, where purpose is found.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm excited.
How'd you make out, Jose? How'd you make out with all this snow? What'd you guys get?
Nothing much, like 3 to 4 inches, standard stuff. And we're back to normalcy. Did the shoveling, did it throw out my back, thank God, and we're good.
Oh, wow. So we got hit. We got slammed, as they say. Yeah, you're talking 2 feet, and it was definitely not easy. But we're here, and most important thing is that we can shovel, and we're healthy enough, and that's a blessing. So
This is true.
yes.
You know, the blessing that I'm counting on is my airplane flying to Tampa at the end of this week.
That's right. That's right.
Because we're going to have an incredible time in Tampa. We have so many great things lined up, and we have 2 exceptional human beings who are going to be joining us this morning. So let's go ahead and bring them on. Devo and Jacqueline, good morning to you all.
Good morning. Good morning. How you
Good
guys
morning.
doing? I'm so looking forward to Florida just to get out this weather. It's off the hook. Yes.
So looking
But I
forward.
gotta say, if we don't have weather like this, how can we enjoy better weather? So sometimes friction creates opportunity, I say.
Absolutely.
Well, you
Well,
get to appreciate it, right? Appreciation.
This is true,
Right.
Jacqueline. I live in Maryland, so for me, like I love this area because it has all 4 seasons, right? It has the fall, winter, spring, summer, all that. It has lakes, rivers, mountains, beaches. It has everything you possibly could want. So when you get bored of something, don't worry, the next thing is coming. So I kind of like it.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Jose,
right.
I recently drove through Maryland. My daughter had a lacrosse tournament up there. I'd never been to Maryland. It is a really beautiful state. I had no idea.
Well, thanks for DMing me while you were here or texting me.
Dude, if you have children that are at lacrosse stage, you're
No.
literally locked into a camp for 4 straight days. There's no movement. It's like back to back to back. Serve my child whatever she needs for 4 straight days.
Wow.
What we do
So
for
let's
our
talk about-
children is incredible. I just, my kids were not into lacrosse, but my daughter was a skier, my son, basketball and golf, and the places that and the things that we do, whatever. Whew.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Olympics? The Winter Olympics?
Not all. We got stuck with a lot of curling here, and I'm a little tired of curling. No offense.
I watched the hockey game. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, we won. It's been since 1980 since the last time we won. That was quite the
We won 2 golds in hockey.
the women. That's right, the women
Congratulations.
as well as the men. Yes, bravo to America. That's right.
I was
Now-
more impressed with the overtime situation and how they remove it. They move it down to 3-on-3. As a soccer player and having been part of multiple overtimes that go on seemingly for hours, they do the 3-on-3. It seems like just genius move. I don't know if you noticed that, but I thought that was cool.
So let's talk about what we're going to talk about. Mastery and execution equals growth. What does that mean to each one of you? Mastery and execution equals growth. Jose's ready to take this on. I can see it.
Well, since you brought my name up, if I had to throw it out there, I would say mastery is really like in the network marketing space. If anybody knows network marketing, I used to be an Amway back in the day, so I know that business very well. I was in there for 10 years, and my mom built a multi-six-figure network marketing company called Job for Cosmetics when I was growing up as a kid. That's the competitor to Mary Kay. So I'm very aware of the business. I've been in so many meetings, I lost track. They always talk about, width and depth, right? Like when you're recruiting people into your business model, you have to recruit a lot of people this way in terms of width, right? Personal recruits. And then there's depth. There's the people that you recruited that they recruit down. And depth is really where the magic happens, right? That's where the long-term residuals come in. That's where the bigger money comes in. So mastery is the same thing. Mastery is depth. It's not dabbling. Right? You're either an expert at your field, you're an expert at what you do. It's the compounding of the fundamentals that you developed over time, right? It's what Bruce Lee talks about. I'd rather do a kick 1,000 times than know 1,000 different kicks, right? And I'm butchering the quote, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's the elimination of this emotional decision making of how do I do this? Do I do it this way? Do I do it that way? No, you do it with mastery. You're an expert in your field, and I think expert in your field is what equals the results of the growth that you're looking for in life, and that's the result of execution. Because the more you execute consistently in working on the fundamentals and working on the basics, everything compounds, positive and negative. So mastery is fundamental to success in life and in business.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like that the quote, like high achievers don't dabble, they deepen. Right. And it is getting to know and knowing what you know and using what you know with the precision versus trying to do a little bit of everything really helps, obviously that growth. It's in the basic steps, in sports, we're talking about like whether it's lacrosse or you're talking basketball, I've read so many books where, the greats, they always focus and work on their basics because it's those fundamentals. You have to, if you master those basics, the rest, the execution becomes easier. You're going to have growth. And sometimes I think people forget about the basics. Jose, like you, I've done a lot of stuff in network marketing. I used to always say to people, just go back to the basics. Don't keep trying to do something new and cool and whatever. Go back to the basics and master that. When you master that, you will see things just soar.
Mm-hmm. And just to piggyback on what both of you guys said, I'm not a salesperson. I'm learning how to be sales, but I know a little bit about being an athlete and then being an artist. And it's always about, in both of those, it's about mastering your craft. And it's about doing the small things intentionally, consistently, which makes the incredible, massive shifts that you need. But it's the fundamental things that you do that's very important. The whole 10,000 hours thing where you take 10,000 hours to master something. That's when you break it down like an 8-hour 5 days a week, 40 hours a week is what you break down 10,000 hours into. So are you willing to do that in order to master something? And then once you master it, it's about execution and getting out there and doing the same things that you learn consistently. And I think that's the most important thing, because people master things, but then they don't apply it. And then it becomes, like Jose said, head knowledge. You got to take the things that you master, and then you have to apply it and execute it. And that's how you become a master at something.
I got to say that, Jose, the you said is, I've heard it 1,000 times, and I've probably said it 1,000 times. So it's, I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times.
Right.
And therefore the mastery is true in the essence. And for me, I think that mastery, we also talked about, both of you talked about head knowledge, because I can have it in my head. I could be a master in my head, but without execution on it, I have nothing. For example, if I have a painting in my head, but I never get the brush or put it on a canvas, no one else will know about it. So my growth only comes when I execute, because I can know everything. I can read 1,000,000 books, but if I do nothing with that knowledge, then there is no growth. Right?
Well, I can speak to very quickly. And by the way, you nailed that quote. I mean, from Bruce Lee. That's what I was actually looking for. But I can tell you, Lancelot, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, Lancelot, very quickly. Question 1 is, have you, when you got married, right? Would you agree that at some level you had to influence your wife to make a decision to say yes to you?
I had to influence her.
Like she had to agree. You had to like sell her on why you were a good catch and why.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There's that perspective, right? I mean, you can remove the word sell and you can say influence. You can say, whatever you want to say. But the point is, it's the level of sales. The other thing I was going to say to you is, have you ever had to sell yourself to be a role in a movie? To tell people why you belong in that role.
Absolutely.
Why
Absolutely.
there's that. And have you ever sold a product or service, anything on any level where somebody gave you money for some reason?
Oh,
Right?
definitely.
Okay, so you are a salesperson, right? And that's the message that I want to deliver to everybody out there, not just you, Lancelot, to everybody out there, that we're all salespeople in some degree. But the masters in sales are the ones who identify as salespeople, right? Because they're the ones who say, okay, I understand I'm a salesperson. I understand I'm either going to be a mediocre, average, subpar, really low level salesperson because I am one, or I'm going to be a master of my craft. Right. And that's really the difference maker. Those are the ones who end up saying, okay, let's work on this thing. Right. But mastery, expertise is never going to show up unless you say, I am going to pursue mastery in this space. I'm already a salesperson. It's just a matter of pursuing mastery, right? So, and you don't just wake up one day and get struck by lightning and say, you know what? I think I'm a salesperson now. No, it's like you are a salesperson. It's just a matter of how good of a salesperson are you. You just got to work on the craft. So what I say to people out there that are watching this right now is, what are the 3 activities? I like the number 3. What are the 3 activities right now that are actually going to grow your business that maybe you should be focusing on? What are those 3 activities? And I can tell you right now, mastery is falling in love with the repetition of those things. Right? So you have to have a burning desire to say, I am going to go and master these 3 things because these 3 things are what move the needle in my business. What could that be? It could be prospecting, it could be marketing, and it could be selling. Right? If I just had to give you 3 things: prospecting, meeting new people all the time, building relationships, having conversations, shaking hands, being a social person. That requires people skills. Of course, marketing, getting your name out there and getting people to know you're alive and that you actually have a business and that you have something to sell. And of course, the ability to say, hey, you should do this. And that's very important. Now, if you're focusing on those 3 things, whatever those 3 things are for your business, right? And I would say those 3 things, but whatever you feel it is, it's just a matter of performing these activities over and over and over and over. And over time, repetition compounds and eventually it yields mastery.
I'd like to share something with that. Every one of the definitions you guys added was great. The through line that I heard from all of you was that mastery itself is a journey. First of all, I think that a lot of people are wanting to have success right away, and nobody has mastery overnight, right? So it's a process of iteration after iteration after iteration and learning from those experiences, and then taking those experiences and finding what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and how do you solve some sort of a problem. So it's sort of knowing exactly who you are and what you do and why it matters, and then having clarity around that and then iterating it over and over. And I like what you said, Jose, in the beginning. You said mastery is not depth. I'd like to add to that, it's also not volume. I think a lot of times people think mastery is like this magnanimous amount of doing things. It's not. It's simplifying and just getting down to the root of the problem and then excelling from that point and then learning how to execute that. So thank you for all those inputs you gave.
I was going to say that initially, when you asked that question to Lancelot, and Lancelot kind of looked, and I said, Jose, you got it wrong. His wife had to sell herself to him so that he would accept her. He's like, that's right. Everybody's a salesperson. Everybody, listen, it's very interesting that everybody's a salesperson at the youngest age when they can learn to speak. Babies even do it before they speak. When they want something, what do? They cry. They make sounds. They want something. They want to be changed. They want to be fed. They want to be comfortable. And then kids start asking, Mom, can I have ice cream? No. Mom, can I have ice cream? No. Can I have ice cream? No, no, no. Hey, Dad, Mom said I can have ice cream. Really? Yeah. So sometimes some salespeople lie to get what they want. If we don't watch out for every salesperson out there, we may also be buying into their lie. So we have to be considerate of the intention of a salesperson. So I think mastery as a salesperson comes in giving people what they want, not what we want. And when we give more people of what they want, they'll buy, right? But if we lie to them, it's going to come back and bite us. Just thought I'd share that.
Another simple thing also that jumped out at me when you all were talking is never open up any sentence with "I'm not something." That self-talk is massive. It's training your brain subconsciously that you may or may not be it, but don't ever tell yourself that you're not. I really add to that. It's a high-performing model. Mm-hmm. You may not have mastered it yet, but at some point you will.
Yeah, that speaks to the book that I always reference. I think I've referenced this book on this show before. It's Hung by the Tongue. A lot of people are hung by the tongue. They, as we know, life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? And thoughts are things, and things really become things in reality in the physical plane because of what comes out of our mouth, right? And what we say, we tend to internalize and believe at a deeper level. So, and our subconscious mind is never asleep. It's always paying attention, right? Conscious mind doesn't know the difference between truth and false and a lie. So it's going to take everything you say concretely. And sometimes you won't even realize that you're consciously thinking of something and you're talking yourself out of something that you maybe could take on. So for me, affirmations. I have affirmations in my morning routine and my evening routine. I say things, whether they're true or not, like I am this, I am that, I am, and it's usually a statement or a sentence or just I am in one word, right? I'm a winner, for example. I am whatever. I have like and these are the way I brainwash myself on a daily basis, because a lot of us need brainwashing in a positive way. And all of a sudden you start to show up differently, you start to think differently, you start to behave differently. And it's powerful how if we're paying attention to what we say, it can make all the difference in the results we're getting.
That's really well said. 95% of what we do is unconscious. Did you know that? 95% of our behaviors, our responses, everything we do is unconscious. So if we can train ourselves to be unconscious in those patterns, we can also train ourselves using what Jose just said to be conscious about our decisions. So self-talk is one of the most amazing things you can change.
I think that's called unconsciously conscious.
That's right. Well said. Well said.
Well, I will definitely take heed to that, because I did start off the conversation by saying I am not. I am a lot of things, but I did say I am not. So I take heed to that, and I hear you loud and clear, everybody.
Bravo.
And this is an all of us thing, Lancelot. This is not a Lancelot thing. This is an all of us thing.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, I don't mind saying when I hear something.
You're owning it, which is good, right?
Know? Huh?
You're owning it. You're owning.
Right, yeah.
You're owning it.
Yeah, I've been at this self-talk affirmations thing and watching my words for I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years now, give or take. And to this day, I still catch myself sometimes self-sabotaging my mindset, with just what came out of my mouth. I'm like, did I just say that? Like, I just catch myself after the fact. But it's a journey. We all know it's not a destination. Life is a journey, and we never arrive. We just get better and better over time.
Jose, you'll love this. When I was in high school, I had a teacher. He was my history teacher, and every morning before class started, he was always listening to the cassette tape. Remember the old little Walkmans that we used to use when we were younger? I don't know how old you all are, but I used to have a Walkman. And one time I stole his Walkman from him, and I listened to it, and it was all of these affirmations. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And it was just sort of like, I am beautiful, I am great, I can accomplish all these things. And I just remember thinking, what in the hell is this? And now fast forward, 35 years later, I do the same thing. So it's just kind of funny.
That is so funny. If I was that age and I did that and I heard that, I'd be like, what a loser. But
that's the same thing I did. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah, but obviously, he was the smartest.
Yeah.
I used to have an 8-track. I used to have an 8-track put on my shoulder. I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
I think we all believe in. I have affirmations on my wall that I'm looking at right now that I say every morning along with other things. But I'm going to add I am a great salesman. So I'm going to put that on my wall.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
The funny thing I learned about those affirmations, and this is something that I've been trying to work on in the last few years, and the shift that I'm making is, it's one thing to say the words, but it's another thing to believe the words. So really the power comes in the belief of the system that you're building, right? I don't know if you're familiar with this concept, but it's really about the conviction of how you actually view it. So it's not so much the word, but it's like, do you actually, like if you say, are you a great salesman? But do you in the back of your mind still doubt it? But it's the repetition of it, like retraining your neuroplasticity of your mind that sort of starts to make you feel like I am a badass salesman. And so that's the part that actually shifts it.
Well, I teach, and what I say is you have to speak and try to get emotions from what you're saying to yourself. So you're not just saying it to be saying it, but you're looking in the mirror, trying to evoke a specific emotion. That might be different emotions, but the more you say it to yourself, in a direct way with intention, it will evoke the emotions, and that to me goes subconsciously.
Yeah.
And your subconscious controls your conscious, as your conscious controls your actions. So
there's 3 of you on this panel who know what I say every time you ask me how I feel. How am I doing? And for me, every time somebody hears it, it makes them think. And sometimes they ask it and they go, why did I even ask you? I know what you're going to say. And Lancelot, what do I say every time you ask me how I'm doing?
Getting better, I'm good and getting better every day.
Exceptional.
Getting better every day. I couldn't remember that first one, but you say that every time. In fact, I say that to you when you ask me. I'm exceptional.
You know why? Because it caught on, right? And so I try to impact what happens in my life with others. And that's how I get exceptional every day. If I can help one person see their beauty in them, that's important. Now, I'm going to bring somebody on the stage who is just beyond incredible. Are you guys ready for this?
Ready.
Danny?
Hey guys.
I know it.
Listen, I'm just sneaking on. I can't help but jump on and watch the lives. I'm always supporting everything that you guys do. Super excited that we're a few days away now from getting together, which is one of my favorite things to do. But I thought that I'd share a little bit of sunshine with you guys as the morning breaks. And I love the inspiration that all of you guys give. I mean, this is why we do it. So I'm so excited to be a part of what you guys got moving forward.
Danny, where are you today?
Today I'm on a Nassau island in the Bahamas today. It's it's not a bad day, I got to tell you. Shovel sunshine. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm jealous.
It is a beautiful, beautiful day.
Wow.
So you got to get your inspiration from something. There's always got to be a reason to keep you motivated. And I'm from Canada, so we have so much snow, as a lot of you guys have right now, that you need a little bit of sunshine. So that's where I'm at today. So
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you all in Florida.
I can't
Just
wait.
change of scenery. That's right.
I can't wait. So anyway, I'll let you guys get back at it. I just didn't want to take the opportunity. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to let you know I'm thinking about you and that I'm watching as everybody is. Please, everybody that watches this in replay, make sure you steal all the nuggets that everybody gets. And I watch all of you and take everything I can. So thank you for sneaking me on, Sifu. I can't say I have the best internet signal, but I'm super excited to be here and I will be listening with love.
All right. Have a great day, Danny.
Thanks, guys.
See you, man.
I told you he was a magician.
So first of
Our
all,
keynote speaker is Danny Z. Yes. Go ahead, Jose.
no, I was just going to say, first of all, Danny's a stellar. I mean, I have seen him perform his mentalism, illusion, mastery tricks that he does, and his magic and escape artist things that he does. I mean, the guy,
He played the guitar, right? Sang some songs.
yeah, he's multi-talented. I've seen him multiple times live, and the guy's brilliant. The fact that he's going to come and bless the room in Tampa, Florida is going to be epic. So for those of you who are coming, you're in for a treat. For those of you who don't have tickets yet, what are you waiting for? Get your tickets. And I want to very quickly pivot to Jacqueline, our sponsor.
Did you say you want to give away some tickets? Did you say that?
I didn't say that, but you're about to say that. So what I did want to do
Good
is
morning,
just
Kimberly. Kimberly is on.
I want to very quickly honor Jacqueline.
Angeline.
I want to very quickly honor Jacqueline, who's our lead sponsor here and for this event. And why don't you take a minute or two or three or four, whatever you want, just share with us a bit very quickly about why you decided to sponsor this event, what people should expect from your talk as a teaser without going deeply into it, and a little bit of the background about your business and what you do so people have some context showing up to the event.
So, okay, great. So first of all, why sponsor? So first of all, the title of New York City in Tampa is Ignite. And at the end of the day, if I can ignite the greatness in other people and again, with the name of my company, Leap to Your Success, and take that great leap, know their clarity, and be able to master what I'm going to be talking on, which is relationship capital, which is making sure that people are actually building relationships correctly, using their network to actually increase their ROI and their income. That is what I like. And that's why when you have a title called, Ignite and Impact, I mean, I got to be there, and I want to help ignite and impact other people in the room and other people around the world. And part of what I do at Leap to Your Success, it's a lot of it, it's about leadership and having clarity in what you're doing. My dream and why I do what I do is if we can create master leaders, right? Using that lovely word, think about how amazing the world would be, because every one of us, besides being a salesperson, is also a leader. Whether you like it or not, you have the ability to lead people. And if each and every one of us could be a better and ignite the inner leader within us, oh God, I just think about how great the world would be.
Amen.
Love it.
Amen.
While you're on that, I'm just going to go ahead and share this anyways. Take a look.
Have you been networking for years, meeting great people, having good conversations, but still feel like you're doing it alone? This might be the reason. Most people don't fail because they lack connections. They fail because they never turn connections into relationship capital. Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I've watched incredibly talented people stay stuck, not because they weren't capable, because they were randomly networking instead of building the right relationships intentionally. You see, in my system, we don't just exchange contacts. We build trust, we mastermind, we create strategic connections that actually move people forward personally and professionally. I work one-on-one with clients who are done guessing. My team and I bring clarity to their direction, sharpen their strategy, and help them leverage the relationships that matter most. If this sounds familiar, don't ignore it. Stop collecting contacts and start building relationship capital. I'm Jacqueline, and I'd like to connect with you.
I love the relationship capital. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Well, relationship capital, I feel like it's each and every one of us, when we meet people, those relationships can turn into amazing opportunities. And so many people, are not as comfortable as others, extending themselves and shaking a hand, or, relationship building starts also, I hate to say the word, but it's like dating, right? We're dating people, but you have to work the relationship. You can't just, please do not be like the LinkedIn people right now. I feel like not all people on LinkedIn, but where it's like, oh, I'm connecting with you. Hey, let me pitch you my service. You know nothing about me. You know nothing about what I'm looking for. So don't be a pitcher, and be somebody who's building relationship capital, because that's going to go a lot longer. And I'm like, and I want to help everybody do that a little bit better.
I love that you said that, because somebody just reached out. I saw it yesterday on LinkedIn. They said, Sifu, I want to coach you. I'm like, okay.
How do you know I need coaching? And I would flip it around and say, let me help you.
I do that all the time, Jack. As a matter of fact, I get pitched like almost daily on LinkedIn. And Facebook every now and then. Facebook, I just get a bunch of random friend requests more than pitches. But on LinkedIn, I get a bunch of DMs of people trying to pitch me something. And the latest, hottest strategy that I'm getting of people trying to pitch me is they say, hey, Jose, I couldn't help but notice your profile and what you do. It's amazing. Love the work that you do. They grease you up with some nice ego stuff. Like, you're such an amazing entrepreneur. I can just see how successful you are. It's amazing. And I've got to say, I'm very intrigued, and I'm just curious, do you by chance have bandwidth for any extra clients for your coaching?
Right.
And that's kind of like the opening line. And they changed that last piece a little bit here and there, but it's essentially saying, do you have bandwidth to take on a couple more clients? Right. And I'm like, because of how successful I am and how amazing I am right now. And that's how they pitch it, right? I'm like, oh yeah, no, I definitely can take on maybe one or two more personal coaching clients, nothing more beyond that, because I got to protect my time. And but I already know where they're going, right? And then like literally the next day, the person will reply and say, oh, fantastic. As a matter of fact, I'm currently working on blah, 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 and sends me like this whole big long spiel of their program and what they're doing, and how maybe if we work together, they can send me all kinds of, and it's just this whole offer that they're giving me, really. And,
you can get 1 to 2 leads every minute by doing our program.
Yeah, so I decline, and I always say no. I say, no, listen, I appreciate you reaching out. I'm not necessarily after that. Like my clients are inbound, they're referral based. I don't really need that service. I do appreciate it, but I've got to say, if you're interested in learning more about the Connected Leaders Academy, blah 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 blah, blah kind of reverse it. I'll say, I'll leave it in your lap if it's something you'd like to pursue. If not, I completely understand. We'll stay connected on LinkedIn and call it a day, whatever. So, and then I don't hear back. It's like crickets after that. So.
Yeah, Jose, I've been doing the same thing. I literally had said the other day to somebody, responded, thank you so much. I said, but let me explain to you. Let me just share. I would love to talk to you about my relationship capital course that I'm doing. It starts March 2nd. It's all about building relationships that are true and meaningful, and how those relationships create long-lasting clients and long-lasting referrals. But can I send you a link to it?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, anybody who's with us, or anybody who can tell somebody to come join us, if they type in Tampa into their wherever they are, either on Facebook, LinkedIn, and we are going to, if we have enough people for it, we will do a giveaway. We did it last week. We had 3 winners, but here's the thing, right? And last week we were talking about taking action, right? Execute. 2 of the winners, we had 3. 2 of the winners replied back, and I gave them the information as to where we're going. One of the winners just wanted to win because they never contacted me, so they don't have information. even as to where we're going to be. So just because you think you're a winner, you still have to execute. Once again, that explains why some people think they're winners. They think like a winner, but they never execute. And so there's no growth. We're pulling out a book, I can tell. So what winds up happening is if you don't execute, growth is going to be very hard to come by. Yes. Even to win the lotto, you have to execute. You have to take the money out of your wallet or your purse or your coat or wherever you have your money stashed, and you have to give it to the clerk so they can run the ticket. And even that requires execution. But here's the other thing. Have you ever heard of somebody who never claimed their winning ticket for lotto? And it happens often.
I was gonna say.
It happens often. There's been people who never claimed their $1 million win or $3 million win. Why? Because they didn't execute. They didn't look it up. They just bought the ticket. They did the thing, and they think everything else. Do you think the lottery agency is going to come over and
Tap you on the shoulder.
hey, you won. Would you like this money? Same thing in life, same thing in business, right? There is many, many parts to execution that we have to take. We can't just take one. We have to continually move the needle in order to have success for growth. So I'll put it up here if you guys want to enter.
Enter to win. Enter to win. Angeline won last week.
Yes. She's already all set.
Yay.
She's the one who keeps winning.
Yay for Angeline.
What are your thoughts, Devo?
On execute?
Yeah.
Well, I think you have to have a plan before you execute anything. You have to have some sort of a strategy and identification on what you're actually trying to execute, understand what that looks like for you. I mean, execution is just, otherwise it's just sort of a blind throwing spaghetti noodles at a wall. I don't disagree with anything you said. I'm just simply saying that execution is sort of a final expression of internal alignment and having some identification on what that looks like for you, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your visualization, whether it's your affirmations that Jose does. I suspect all of your affirmations sort of lead something, right, Jose? They're not just blind affirmations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So having whatever it is you want to execute, you do have to take action, like you said, but I would suggest whatever it is you're trying to execute, build some sort of a rubric around what that actually ultimately looks like for you, and then visualize what that feels like, smells like, tastes like, and then start to execute that.
That's planning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of that, since you brought that up, Devo, great point. There definitely has to be that internal alignment, to be intentionality behind the execution and a direction, a clear path as to what you're executing on. So for me, my affirmations again is my goal is to be a man of God, to have a strong spiritual life, to be an amazing husband, to be a phenomenal dad, to be a tremendous entrepreneur and business owner, to be a servant leader at the highest levels, impacting the world, to have health and wellness in my life. So all of my affirmations are around identifying as that and making sure that that's kind of the where I'm executing. But again, going back to your point of what you just said, which I think is spot on, execution without mastery is chaos. Right? So, because we're talking about mastery and execution, right? So if you're executing without mastery, it can lead to chaos because you're kind of all over the place, all over the map, and it's kind of like halfway done, it's mediocre, it's, you know, so mastery without execution also is not effective. Right? So mastery without execution and execution without mastery, you need both. You need both.
Yeah. It's the symbiosis, right? But before you can even get to the mastery part, you do have to have that alignment. You have to have that identification of what it is. One of the things that I started doing years ago in this same conversation, I started creating these codexes for my visualization rather than my affirmations, right? And in each of these codexes, I actually print this up. It's a book. It is right here. In this book are readings that I have created over time. And these readings are sort of waxing poetic parables, if you will, sort of like biblical in a way. And I actually borrowed it from the Bible, right? In the sense of creating whatever it is that I ultimately want to step into for my life. I spend time journaling about it and then perfecting it, rewriting it over and over until it sort of sounds like this beautiful waxing poetic prose, right? And then I read these things randomly throughout the morning or the night or in the middle of the day, things that I'm really working on right now. Like right now I'm working on this really fantastic contract with a client out in Los Angeles. And so I'm literally I wrote down, what does this feel like when this actually happens? And so I have this beautiful visualization technique that's aligning me, identifying me with what it is I want to accomplish so that I can become a master of this and ultimately express it in my execution stage. So it's like there's a process and a rubric to it all. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Love it.
When we think about the decisions that we make on a daily basis, overall, I think we should have a plan for future, for our future selves. Because if we don't do that, we're going to be lost later on in life. You've probably seen some people lost in life. They've gone through their whole life, and when somebody asks them, "What's your purpose in life?" and they still don't know, that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough, I say. For me, I've known early on. I know Lancelot has known early on because you've told me. There's a mission that you set your life to, and there's a mission that I've set my life to, and for me, it's helping others, and that mission drives me every single day. And when people say, "Wow, you didn't even charge me for that," and sometimes it's not about charging somebody financially; it's about spending time. I'm charging them through their time, through the time they spent with me, the time they spent doing something. So for me, it's equity comes differently than financial. And so that's how that's my mission, right? To impact more lives than I will ever even know. This is why I do what I do. So everything I do is intentional, and I don't always know how many people I'm actually going to reach. It'd be nice if anybody, if I reached you, let me know. I'd love to know. But that's not what's going to matter to me. So every day I plan my days to impact. And that's why, for me, mastery and execution do equal growth, because it's not financial growth always, because I can't take that stuff with me. You ever seen a funeral procession with a U-Haul truck behind it? Everybody taking their junk with them? And even if it's not junk, their Rolls Royces, their Rolex. No, it's what you do while you're here.
It's, I've been reading that book, or listening to the book, Die with Zero, right? Because we want to, create the great impact. And do you want to, thinking about, if you've got some money, if you have any kind of wealth, are you going to leave it for your kids when you die, or are you going to give it to them so that they can enjoy it while you're there? I mean, there's so many other parts to the book, but you can't take things with you, but you can create great memories and create impact so that, and if you can make a difference in one person's life every single day, and you can touch one person and make a difference, you can put your head on the pillow at night with a really great big smile.
I go to sleep happy every day. I mean, big smile on my face and in my heart. That's where it counts.
And for me, I think it's understanding and aligning yourself with who you know you're supposed to be, that purpose. And when you're able to find out what your purpose is at such an early age as I did, and be able to go after that purpose and live in your purpose, it gets you up in the morning, and it makes you master what it is that you're trying to do, because you know what your purpose is. And for me, it's always been about being a beacon of positive light and energy to people around the world. Be a servant and help people be the best that they can be. And that's what wakes me up early in the morning, every single day, because it's about me getting 1% better each and every day, so that I can then turn around and help others to get 1% better, and then say, this is how I do it. And if I could do it, you could do it as well. And that's what motivates me. And that's what drives me to get up 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, every single day, because I'm learning and I'm building, and I want to help others to do the same thing.
Lancelot, tell us that what you told us before we came live, how you started your morning because you had something that's happening.
Well, this was a hectic morning this morning, because I just got a script yesterday for an audition I'm going to do in 2 days, and I have to be on point. So I'm doing that. Plus I'm getting ready for this weekend. You know what I mean? Plus I got to get ready for 2 shows I'm shooting this week, but I'm not complaining. Although I did complain about shoveling for 6.5 hours. That was horrible. But other than that,
about the exercise you got doing that shoveling.
yeah, but I woke up with a backache and the whole 9. But that's a whole nother story. But to understand what you're out there to do, and then you get all this stuff put on your plate, it's exciting, because now I have to be able to accomplish it. So I have to get up at 3 o'clock, and I have to allot a certain amount of time to the script, and I have to allot a certain amount of time to this here, because we have a commitment every single day. And then I have to get ready for 2 shows this week. But I'm not complaining, because this is all about being the best that I can be, so that I can turn around and show others you could do it too, as long as you follow these 5 keys, or follow this format, this system and structure.
Well, complaining is basically is it the story you want to tell yourself, or is it not the story? So, you know, we're just sharing it. It's the words that we say to ourselves. So when we start to complain, those are things that, again, it goes into the up here and into our conscious, right? So again, flip the switch and flip the words to change the story that you're telling yourself. So, you know.
And words are not just communication tools, they're reality shapers. Right. So they can literally shape your mind. It's just about the things you say to yourself. And again, I have affirmations on my wall that I say every single day. So I'm with Jose on that, for sure.
Can I ask a question to all of you?
Yes.
I want to go back to this purpose idea. Not to disagree with it, but this is just for consideration. Purpose for me, if you're relying solely on this idea of purpose,
it's what drives me.
It implies that there's only one correct answer. And this is a question. It almost has some suggestive inferences that you're incomplete until you find your purpose. For me, thinking about this idea of purpose, right? It sort of frames this idea around that meaning is something that's totally fixed, like there's no deviation from it. And again, this is a question. And I'm wondering if you solely rely on purpose before you've done any of the other things before it, which is alignment, strategy, identity, getting sort of some sort of purview on what are the things that really inspire you and drive you and motivate you, right? How do you serve the world, right? Because a lot of people sort of like lean in on this word of just purpose, and I understand it. I agree with it. There should be sort of a North Star to the things that we do, but I'm wondering, do we too heavily rely on this idea of purpose, this North Star, this one and only single focus of getting somewhere, because it sort of lends itself to a very linear kind of construct, if you will. And I'm wondering, is there a better way to look at purpose rather than, before we chase purpose, there are some absolutely critical steps that have to occur before you get to that? I'm just curious what your feedback on
Well,
that.
let me answer that. For me, purpose is what drives you. That's your why. But I have reinvented myself into several different things. So I don't keep myself on one specific thing. The purpose is to be a beacon of positive light and energy to people around the world. That's my why. But my what and my how changes. I've been a professional athlete. I've been a professional dancer. I'm a speaker. And I continue to reinvent myself with the purpose to help others to be the best that they can be, by showing that I have reinvented myself several different times, and I have mastered the art of reinventing myself because I've always understood what my purpose was. But that doesn't mean that I stay focused on one thing. I have, again, reinvented myself several different times, but it's because that I've always understood what my purpose was, and that was to be a beacon of positive light, and also to help others, to be a servant leader. And that's what drives me. But at the same time, as I said before, I don't stay on one specific thing. I continue to grow. I continue to realign with all the great things that God has given me, that are locked inside of me, that I've been able to discover.
I would argue that sounds more like alignment than purpose.
And I would argue, no, it's not. That's my purpose.
I love arguments.
It's my purpose. You got to understand, I've known my purpose.
I've got to chime in now. I got to chime in now. This is great, and it's unfortunate this was brought up 8 minutes before the end of the call, because we could go all on a whole call on just purpose. But my philosophy is there is no thing that's the end all be all. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and say that purpose, if you don't have purpose, you're missing out on life and you're confused. I'm also not going to say that if you don't have a purpose, that's the way to go either, and it's not purpose, it's something else. I just believe that no purpose is like having no address in a GPS. I believe no purpose is like having something that you do without skill set. It's like a boat without a rudder, right? So for me, purpose, my bigger purpose, the reason why I wake up, the mission, vision of what I'm doing in my life is centered around one thing. There are spokes off the wheel of my purpose, but the number one purpose in my life, and this might be controversial to some people, because some people might not be people of faith, and that's okay. And I'm not here to convince you otherwise. That's not necessarily what we're here to do today, right? But my purpose is to love, honor, and serve God. That is my purpose in life. That's why I was created. I was created for Him, by Him, and that's the only purpose I have. Now, outside of that, of course, I have a calling of entrepreneurship, which is His will for my life. And I want to leave a legacy for my family and love of my family. I want to change lives and serve people. But the bigger purpose of all of this ultimately is to love, honor, and serve God. And that is the lens of how I view everything that I do. Because now I can make executive decisions and feel good about it, because I know whether it's out or in alignment with my purpose. So it gives me an easy, oh, that's not for me. Oh, that's for me. Oh, no, that's not for me. No, this is for me, because I know my purpose in life. So for me, that's my answer. It's a very simple answer. Of course, we can get way more complex than that, but for the sake of time, that's my answer.
Beautiful.
So this is what I was going to bring out, and it's very interesting that Jose even brought it up, because we all talk about affirmations and thinking and all this stuff. But even in the back of the Bible, it tells you when you feel afraid, bitter, bored, all these things, these are the things that will help and guide you in a way And so in the Bible, it says, I am incredible. I am beautiful. I am all these things. And if I don't believe I am them, how can I even tell someone else? How can I tell you you're beautiful? How can I tell you you're worthy if I don't have the value in me? So, yes, I read the Bible every day, like Jose, and it doesn't matter your religion. We all believe in something. And so when we talk about purpose, is it alignment? Is it whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, we all have that. If you want to call it a North Star, a vision, a mission, or what the wording is not as important as to where you're headed.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you want to call it, I'm cool with that.
Mm.
As long as you're going in the right direction, and it has to be for you.
Right.
It cannot be what I'm going to follow this one because I like what they're doing and I'm blind to what I need to accomplish in my life. I follow no one except God's will. And if I say I have purpose, that's just a different way of me expressing myself. Because without purpose, there's no why and there's no how for me. So I thought I'd chime in on that. And that's why my Bible is right next to me, right? And sometimes I will pick it up in the middle of the day. Listen, when I'm driving in the street and my purpose is to get to my destination, but somebody else's purpose is to cut me off and then give me the finger, I am so grateful because when they give me the finger, they are saying I'm number one. They might not be using the correct finger, but I'm okay with that because their purpose was something totally different than mine. And we don't always align with other people's purposes as long as we align with our own. And to me, that's the most important.
I gotta say something funny really quick. My son Judah, he's 3 years old. He doesn't know any better, right? And I'm gonna use my index finger for now, right? But we were in church on Sunday, and he grabbed both of his middle fingers and went like this, like to me, right, like this in church. And he has no clue what that means, right? He just basically grabbed his two middle fingers and went like this to me in church, and there's all these people around us, right? I'm like, what are you doing? And then he's like, then he goes to the people like behind us and goes like this with his middle fingers, right? And I'm like, Judah, no, don't do that, right? And he didn't understand. I never had that talk with him, and I never thought he would do that. And sure enough, I just thought it was funny based on what you said.
That is very funny, Jose.
And if I can add, just getting back to the Bible and church, I haven't been actually to a brick and mortar, and I'm not proud of this, in probably 30 years. But church is inside of me. God is inside of me. And you can't tell me what I feel and what my purpose is because I know I've been anointed and chosen by God because God came to me and told me that. So we can go on for days about purpose and I don't care what you say, and this is not in a mean way, but because of the faith I have in God. And I don't go to church, but I believe in a higher power because of some of the things that I've gone through. I know that I've been chosen to be a beacon of positive light into the people around the world. And I'll end with that.
I got to tell you, Lancelot, the other day I had a dream. And it was a baker that I was seeing. And I felt like I owed him money. And I went there to pay him. And he said no. He actually gave me money. And then he sat me down and gave me advice. And he said, there are 3 things you have to do every single day. And he went into it. And I got to tell you, it wasn't a baker I was talking to. Right. But he was so amazing And the advice he gave me, oh my gosh, I've taken it to heart, and I've already made changes based on the advice I was given in my dream. Because before I put my head down to sleep, I go into gratitude and I thank God for all the gifts he's given me. And then I ask him for guidance, and I ask him to direct me, and I ask him not to let me sleep without function, without understanding, so that in my sleep, because my brain's going to work anyway, I ask God to give me inspiration in my sleep to answer questions I may have, or give me ideas that I didn't have prior. So the fact that I had that conversation with myself, and then I had that dream, I think that was pretty impactful for me. And I woke up clear as anything.
Beautiful. I feel that way about being around the two of you guys, being around, having this conversation each week. I think God put me here for a reason, and that's to learn. You know, I learn every time I'm around y'all. I learn today, and I appreciate the honesty, but I also appreciate being around people that are growing and they're doing, because proximity is power. And just being around people like yourselves helps me to be a better version of myself. So I appreciate this platform, and I appreciate each one of you, because it helps me to grow as a person.
Yeah, the people that are around us and influence, it's putting ourselves in the right room so that we have great connections.
That's right.
And it's and all the greatness gets, rubs off, and we get to take a little bit with us every single time, and it just keeps making us a little bit better.
A little bit better. That's right. It's a beautiful
And guess
thing.
what? You got to get into the room in Tampa, right? You can't not say, oh man, I wish I should have, right? That will not get you anywhere. That is not mastering execution, and that doesn't equal growth. When you wish on something, you actually have to take action. You have to execute. So if anybody's still interested in joining us in Tampa, we do have some seats available. So
listen, I gotta run. And I've got to say, yeah, we all have to run, but I gotta say this. Great show today. Amazing thoughts and ideas, and I've got to say thank you, Devo, for bringing up that purpose topic, because that's a strong one, and I can tell you, at the end of the day, like, it's okay to agree to disagree, right? And I still don't even know Devo's official opinion on this, but it's a great question that he posed, and again, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong or I'm right. I'm just telling you my answer, right? So I think we all have a lot to say there, but great conversations today, especially all around mastering execution. And yes, Tampa, Florida this weekend. This is the last call, not necessarily today on tickets, but last call in terms of, hey, the last promotional piece that we're doing live here as a group. We're excited. We have so many amazing, successful entrepreneurs that are going to be in the room in Tampa, Florida this weekend, February 27th to March 1st. I'm going to be there a day early and stay a day late. So I'm thrilled and excited to meet many of you in person for the first time.
Are you picking me up at the airport? Is that what I just heard you say? Just kidding.
If I have a car. But I want to end with this quote. And this is a quote from a book that I love, that I always talk about all the time. And the book is Improve, Grow as If Your Life Depends on It. And this is by Chris Matakas. And I think you know Chris Matakas from Raphael. So it's he's a martial arts school owner in New Jersey. But he has a quote in here, and the quote says, "Choose the environment that serves you."
Yes.
So choose the environment that serves you, right? We will only become what are. Oh man! So the question is, what environment are you choosing to play in? What environment are you choosing to hang out and associate with? because that
Yes.
over the long haul will determine where you end up. That plays a major, major role. And the environment that's going to serve you this weekend is the NYC Mastermind Experience in Tampa, Florida. We will see you there.
Yeah. Yeah. Excited for it. Everybody having a beautiful and exceptional day today. And if you still need to snow shovel, just be careful with your back. Use your legs, people.
Yes.
Listen, by the way, I saw a post. I'm going to go quick. I saw a post on somebody that was going to have a master class on snow shoveling, and he was going to give up his driveway if you wanted to come and have that class. That was a perfect post.
Oh, that's funny. So
That's like, you should have put that out there. You would have had a master class on how to shovel.
Yeah.
Your sidewalk and your driveway could have been the.
Listen, I
workshop,
just got
right?
a text from my mother who said I need help. So I'm going to have to run out here and go shovel again. But I have the ability to shovel, and that's how you got to look at it. It's about awareness and checking that attitude. So the attitude is, I can do it. That's the attitude. All right.
Benjanies have a workshop.
That's
Everybody,
right.
God bless. We'll see you
Thank
guys
you
soon.
very
Have a
much.
great day. See y'all in Tampa.
See you guys in Tampa. Take care, guys.
Super excited. It was such an amazing experience speaking, and I'm so energized and excited.
Everyone brought the energy, the motivation, and the tools to actually implement to accelerate as a business owner.
I'm really happy to hear the New York experience. We just had some of the speakers come up and they were fantastic.
Awesome experience. The quality of people and the quality of the speakers were truly inspirational.
Let me just tell you, the impact in the room, the energy in the room was unbelievable. If you miss this event, there's another event coming up in Tampa. You don't want to miss that event.
It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance.
Sifu Rafael with the New York City Mastermind Experience. I am here with Lancelot and Jose. We're taking it to Tampa.
Real excited to bring our New York City experience to another state. Tampa, watch out, because here we come.
Get your tickets today, folks. We want to see you in Tampa, Florida. Again, NYC Experience in Florida. Get there. Get your tickets now. We'll see you there.
Elevation, that's the sound.